I went from years of ankle injuries, calf overuse, shin splints, stress fractures, Achilles tendonitis, and not being able to run for months at a time, to now honestly having some of the most injury-proof ankles that I've seen. And my problem wasn't that I had bad ankles. It was just that I hadn't built my ankles to tolerate what I was trying to do. And it was only once I started taking my ankle ability seriously that anything started to change. So I'm gonna make ankle injury proofing really simple for you. Your first target is 15 reps with 20% body weight loaded on one leg, which teaches your Achilles to get strong through the exact position that you land in when running. The second, 20 reps with 20% body weight through a full stretch in the shin, gaining deceleration ability, which is just as important as acceleration ability and bulletproofing for your shins. And finally, 15 reps. 20% body weight loaded, single leg through a full range of motion, allowing us to produce more power through a wider range of motion to stop stiffening up after your runs. There's two people that come to mind when I look at what inspired these targets: Bob Guida and Usain Bolt. Two completely different athletes, but both world-class in their field. The first person I saw doing these tibialis raises when dating as far back as I could was Bob Guida. He was a bodybuilder, and he used these to build up the aesthetics of his lower leg, because at the time, bodybuilders were really just training their calves and their soleus, which are both at the back of the ankle. But he thought, well, I can make my ankles twice as big looking if I train the opposite side, this big tibialis anterior muscle which wraps through the front. If you can think about that in bodybuilding terms, it would be like someone training only their triceps and never training their biceps. He found that missing link and built up huge shin muscles compared to the rest. And while you might not care about having a big tibialis muscle, even though it does look good, you can still get tons of injury-proofing benefits by training the opposite side of the ankle. And on the other side of things, Usain Bolt did not care about the aesthetics of his calves. He just wanted to produce as much power through as much range as he possibly could to break world records in the Olympics, which he did. And those greats like Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, they knew something that most runners completely miss, because flexibility does not mean you lose power. Most runners just want as stiff an ankle as possible so they can push off. But what flexibility gives you is access to more range. So you can keep that stiffness, but you can access more range to be powerful through. And in my opinion, I think it's common sense that if they didn't build up calves that could move through a full range of motion, they wouldn't have been as fast, because they would have stiffer and more locked up ankles, reducing their ability. So those are the three targets that built my ankles to world-class levels, along with who inspired them along the way. But back when I was injured, I wasn't even close to any of them. So let's backtrack and watch the improvement that I made along the way. I first started from a place where my ankles would get locked up after every single run. So I started off in unlock, where the goal is to reduce that stiffness and gradually regain your range of motion at a level that your calves can tolerate and recover from, so it doesn't impact your running. So Monday's workout in unlock is fully focused on building that foundation through the lower leg. The most important goal in unlock is to regain your full range of motion. You can see at the bottom of this rep, my heels are off the ground. That means I'm through a full stretch. You might not be able to start there. So start week one with your feet closer to the wall, just regaining the strength through as much range of motion as you have now. Then by the end of the 8 weeks, we're getting closer and closer to full range ability through both of your calves. Then we take those loaded tibialis raises that we learned from Bob Guida, and we make them bite-sized at a level that anyone can do by just gaining the ability to pick your toes off the ground and lower with control. And lastly, for the lower legs, we're building up our bent leg calf raises just like we do in targets, but we can start from a position that your ankle and your Achilles can tolerate right now, meaning that anyone can improve. Week one, if you're extra sensitive in the legs, the knees, the Achilles, anything like that, just start with less knee bend and gradually build that range of motion over time as you get stronger, going into more knee bend, loading up that soleus. And this one is extra important for recovery, because this soleus muscle, the deepest muscle in your calf, has to absorb up to 6 to 8 times your body weight every time that you land. So weakness here simply will put you back so much further in terms of injury proofing. At this point, the only thing stopping someone and making them quit the running ability system is having pain right when they first start, which is why every single exercise in the system regresses to a level that you can tolerate, making it bite-sized and attainable for anyone to make progress. These ankle injuries simply don't happen because you're running too much, and you should be able to run as much as you want, like we get to. but you will be shown exactly where you're weakest if you run and you haven't built up these abilities yet, because running will expose where your weakest links are. So the solution to your long-term ankle problems is not to stop running, and it's not to take rest from running, starting again with the same weaknesses that you once had. It's to build up your strength and confront your weaknesses head on, one pain-free progression at a time, one day at a time. You have so much more potential in your ankles if you start training to injury proof.